Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone. How are you? I hope you guys doing well and happy. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Fina Syaparamadhany from 1A class with student ID number 12106000015. I am a student in the English education study program Faculty of Education and Science in Swadaya Gunung Jati University. So today I would like to finish my middle test. The subject is an introduction to English literature. So I have the task to make a video about the history of English literature, and I made this video to complete the test. And I would like to say thanks to my esteemed lecturer, Mrs. Tutuk Kurniati, for giving me material on English history. I'm going to talk about the history of Puritan period. And the Puritan movement was originally only a religious movement, but because of pressures and unwise actions again, the Puritan by James I and Carlos I, both of whom were disliked by people because of their despotism. The Puritan movement developed into a political movement opposed to the king. The conflict situation reacted its peak in the Civil War, and finally the Puritan executed Carlos I. Then the Puritan established a Commonwealth government under Oliver Cromwell. And next is characteristics. First is literature during Puritanism didn't have unity of soul. And the second is gloomy shade. And the last is losing romanticism gradually changed to be critical and intellectual, tend to stimulate to the mind rather than the feeling. Next is poetry. Metaphysics. Characterized by originality in thought and expression, metaphor, exaggerated, imagination to free and difficult to understand. Source of inspiration, love, and religion. John Donne's explanation in describing the ideas in his poetry. John Donne does not use conventional comparisons, but uses fantastical metaphors and exaggerated hyperboles. As a pioneer as well as a major metaphysical poet, he was born into a strong Roman Catholic family tradition. When he was very young, he had been sent to study at Trinity College, Cambridge, and later as a member of Lincoln. He was a voracious reader and enjoyed a life of extravagance. Besides, he had adventures and joined expeditions to Cadiz. As a metaphysical poet, he used unconventional images. Donne's famous poems include The Sun Rising, The Good Morrow, loved alchemy, a valediction, forbidding, mourning, and others. Next is other poets. George Herbert, Color as the Wind. Sorry. Then next is other poets. George Herbert, Color as the Winds and the Altar. Richard Crashaw, Epigrammaticum, Sacrocum Liber, Steps to the Temple, Delight of the Muses, and Carmen de Nostro. Abraham Coley, Politicals, Blossoms, the Misters, and 22 others. Henry Vaughan, Silex, Skinteres, or Iscanus, and Tate, Satire of Juvenal Amusement. Next is Cavalier. The Cavalier poets were loyal followers of King Carlos I. Love, life, and worldly pleasures, and not so fanatical about religion. The poems are lyrical, and the themes express their love for life and their sorrow. Next is the poet Robert Herrick to the Virgin to make much of time, to enjoy the time, and to daffodils. Thomas Coyle to his mistress in absence. Richard Leflance to Alcine from prison. Next is John Morton. From the poet, he also served as secretary for poet affairs of Oliver Cromwell. Newton was raised according to Puritan teachings and from a young age had a passion for music, poetry, and beauty. He had a Renaissance spirit and was very religious. And next is poetries, El Allegro and I.L. Penseroso, Lycidas, Sonnet on his blindness, Samson Agonistes, and Paradise Lost. Next is prose. First, a religious conflict between the Anglicans and the Puritans also resulted in an increase in the number of prose works. James once attempts to reconcile the two disputing parties failed, but this effort has resulted in an important work, namely a new translation of the Bible known as the Authorized Version or the King James Bible. The influence of the language of this translation is seen in the work of theologians of the time such as Jeremy Taylor. The clash between Anglican and Puritan followers had impact on the increasing number of the Authorized Version or King James Bible released. Next is drama. After Shakespeare drama experienced a drawback, theaters were closed down by Puritan, and drama suffered a lot of setbacks and finally came to a complete halt with the closing of the theaters by the Puritan rules in 1642 because they were considered of disobedience. And the last is conclusion. The Puritan period was a period that included religious movements, but due to pressure and unfavorable actions from James I and culture, the Puritan movement developed into a political movement that was in opposition to the king in the conflict. Leaders were born who produced a large number of literary both such of poetry and prose. Thank you for your attention. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.